Hey guys, Giants beat reporter Zach Rosenblatt here from NJ Advanced Media, and this is your latest update powered by the Talk is Cheap podcast. The Giants are 1-7 at the season's midway point after losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 8. It was a game the Giants, who were heavy underdogs, had a real chance of winning. Ultimately, they fell short and lost 25-23, largely due to the errors of young quarterback Daniel Jones. Jones threw 2 costly interceptions, which prevented the Giants from upsetting Tom Brady yet again after beating him in the Super Bowl 2 times with Eli Manning. Now the Giants turn around and will face the only team they've beaten this season, Washington. The football team is coming off its bye week after dominating the Dallas Cowboys the week prior, and they'll face the Giants on Sunday afternoon. Quarterback Daniel Jones continues to turn the ball over at an alarming rate. His 2 turnovers on Monday night against the Buccaneers brought him up to 13 in 8 games this season and 36 turnovers in his career in 21 overall games. That's the most turnovers for a quarterback in that stretch of his career since Ryan Leaf, who had more than 40 in his first 21 games. Despite that, head coach Joe Judge says the Giants have no plans to bench Daniel Jones. So the young quarterback will get a chance in the second half of the season to prove that he deserves to be the starter. Giants general manager Dave Gettleman didn't wind up making any trades at this year's deadline, despite rumors insisting that they were shopping wide receiver Golden Tate and offensive lineman Kevin Zeitler. They might regret not dealing Tate, it turns out. The veteran wide receiver has mostly been a disappointment since Gettleman signed him to a $37.5 million contract last year. He only has 22 catches in 7 games right now, and on Monday night he yelled, "Throw me the ball," a couple of times at his team. Tuesday, his wife posted on social media, blasting the Giants for underutilizing her husband. That's not exactly a distraction that the Giants need right now, especially as they're struggling. Could they cut him? Stay tuned. Sunday's game at Washington might be the Giants' best chance of getting more wins in what appears to be a lost season. Washington has an elite group of pass rushers led by Chase Young that could give a young Giants offensive line some serious trouble. If Jones can avoid turnovers, the Giants should be able to beat a team they've beaten more than any other team over the last decade. If they lose again, all of a sudden they're 1-9, and they'll have to seriously start considering the possibility that they need to draft a new quarterback. Also, at what point will Dave Gettleman lose his job? That's one of the season's biggest remaining questions for the New York Giants. The 1-7 Giants will travel to Landover, Maryland on Sunday to face the 2-5 Washington football team in a divisional matchup at FedEx Field. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. For all the latest Giants news, turn to the sports section of NJ.com and download the Talk is Cheap podcast wherever podcasts are available.
Acast powers some of the world's best podcasts. Here's a show we recommend.
With the 2020 election around the corner, History This Week looks back at the American presidency. In last week's episode, Crisis in Cuba, we explored how JFK and a stroke of luck brought us back from the brink of nuclear war. In this week's episode, Stealing the Presidency, we'll talk about Rutherford B. Hayes, the messiest presidential election in American history, and how a handful of backroom deals set suffrage back for centuries to come. For these stories and more, subscribe to History This Week wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast recommends.